Hello, this is going to be one of my first makeup tutorials. I'm doing a little bit of GuyLiner preparing for an interview. So let's get started. What I like to use is a dark brown eyeshadow, and I put it not on the wet line, a little underneath.
Is there any more A's? If you're holding on to B1 through 30,
and then I put it on top. I'm using just a regular brush like this, and I am using like a MAC makeup, a MAC kind of like a mocha espresso color. Because I am going for an interview, I don't want to do it too over the top. So,
Alright, at this time I'll take B1 through 30. Welcome aboard.
So I love to do a smudging technique. So I just use my finger, draw it across the lid, and I really try to press that dark powder into the lash line, so it really diffuses it. I'm trying to see exactly what kind of... Oh, okay. I'm fine. So I always like to start off with the liner because I'm going to put on some foundation or some concealer over it, and it'll cover it up, and then I'll go back and kind of touch up the eyeliner. So with the concealer, because I have a very dark beard, I apply it rather generously.
Alright, if you're holding on to C1 through 30, you're more than welcome to
Be sure to cover up any of those spots that you don't want to be shown. I like to do it over the eyebrows.
At this time I'll take B31 through 60. Welcome aboard.
Okay, so let me show you what the concealer looks like. Super duper crazy. Check it out. Okay, then I'm going to use this type of brush. It's got a little red in it because when I do other types of face and illusion, it blends in with some of the cover-up that I use, which I use a color corrector, which I'll show you in another tutorial. So I'm on my eyelids. Up here I have really dark, really visible and present little veins and stuff. So I like to put the concealer there, on the under eye. You can already see how bright this eye looks compared to... Look. See how bright and fresh this looks, and see how dark it looks on the other side. So I'm just going to do half the face so you can... The technique I use is kind of like a stipple. You're going to push the makeup in and then drag it across. You're not going to want to... You're going to want to trace the jawline on this part of the face over here. I don't have any sideburns, so I bring it up all the way. Normally I do a color corrector where I put red lipstick on and then cover it in concealer. But because this is an interview, I don't really need to be perfectly oriented in that way. So you can see how there's the dark beard there with the concealer, and when I just spread it out so smoothly like that, it just makes it look a lot fresher and a lot cleaner, which is ultimately going to help me get the job. I hope. So I'm going to continue. I like to make sure to get in here.
Julian Blight, Brendan Gorman, if you're in the gate area, would you drive board this aircraft to gate B9, flight 1113 to Denver.
Like to cover the bridge of the nose. And I'm of the Manila Luzon family, so, or party boat, so she always has this mask effect that I always really like to use as inspiration for a lot of the designs I do. I also know this chick named Maddox Madison who does this awesome clown white highlighting, and she's of a very like mocha or darker complected skin tone, and it looks awesome. What she does is she puts right here the clown white cream foundation and then a powder white over it, which I really love, but I'm not going to do something that intense right now. Okay, so making sure I get it all in there. Okay, now I'm just going to do a little basic light contouring. What I use is something from Rite Aid. It's pretty great. I guess it's a pan stick applicator. Let me show it to you. It comes like that. What I like to do is take the brush and then take the product and let's see. Really. Just pick up the product with the brush instead of painting it on, and all this is going to be blended out later, but I like to, when I'm doing boy face, I like to do, I guess it's technically a cut crease. Yeah, it looks dramatic, but I'll blend it out, and I'm going to put some powder over it so it's not going to really be as crazy. Then this is the Raven technique. You just take the contour and you really bring it on your nose. Yeah, I messed up a little bit there, but look, it doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. Look, oh my goodness, and yeah, I'm going to, I'm blending it right now, but I wouldn't normally blend it this early if I were doing a more gender illusioned
Natalie Murillo, Laura
look. But just so you can see, I mean, according to Misty Eyes from Florida, she loves using her fingers. I don't typically like to because sometimes I work on makeup clients and, you know, it's one, unhygienic, and two, a little unprofessional to be touching your client's face with your fingers. So I've got that. I used my contour as a little bit of an eyeshadow, I guess technically, and I'm going to use I guess it's technically a blush brush with something like this, and I'm going to use the same application technique. Gonna sweep it on lightly, and I'm going to start from the top of my ear, and I'm going to open my mouth. You see that? Top of the ear to that dimple right there, and you're going to start by rounding it down below the cheekbone. This really makes your cheekbones pop out, makes it look like you've been tanning. Love it. Love this look. Look, check it out. It's really flat, and this has a little bit of depth in there, so we're going to continue to do that. Okay, and then one of my one of my inspirations comes from the concept of blonde and bronze. So I like to put a significant amount of contour up here on my temple. You know, and depending what kind of hairline you have, just blend it all in. Just trying to get it as even as I can. You know, this is the Manila Luzon mask, so I don't try to contour into that because you really want to make your forehead pop. And then, of course, under the jaw. One important thing that Misty Eisen from Florida says you need to do is always drape. I am on my way to an interview. I'm at the Chicago O'Hare Airport, so I'm dressed in full business clothes. So I had to take a t-shirt that I had in my carry-on to do it. Now you can see it's starting to come together a little bit. See, that's why I might have just crashed my face. Yeah, I think there's contour right there now, so I've got to go and correct that. Sorry about it. One of the important things about doing makeup is knowing when you got to correct, knowing when you got to remove. If I had makeup remover, I might use it, but I'm also a cakey queen. I love to just pack the product on. You pay for what? Sorry, I had to break the tutorial up into 2 parts because I accidentally pressed stop recording on my new phone, but you know what? The more I get used to it, the less mistakes like that'll happen. Earlier I did mention that I have a really dark beard, and what I have to do is shave really closely, and it hurts. So I excuse me, used a dry raising shaver technique. I will say that I do like using the Mach 5. The heads, you know, they do get dulled pretty frequently, but investing in them is probably the best because you can get the closest shave, and then afterwards there's a Clinique aftershave beard soother that actually stifles hair growth. Or, well, not, reduces hair growth. My friend Raj Prasad introduced me to the product, and I'm actually really happy with it. Can't always afford to have it in my kits, but it is what it is. Another thing with the highlight, what I like to do is connect this corner of the eye to this corner of the mouth. So, you know, whenever I'm working with the concealer, I do like to refresh that area, and again, just kind of revisiting the areas that I talked about a little bit earlier. Now, the reason why I'm doing, you know, a significant amount of face is because I do know the person I'm interviewing. I have no idea. Oh, I see. Look, I'm just learning how to use this phone. I am using a phone as a mirror instead of a mirror as a mirror. But you know what? A girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. I do have a mirror, but then I don't know how I'd hold the mirror and the phone in one hand and then do my makeup with the other hand. So I'm pretty happy with my makeup. My eye, you know, my eyes are decent. So what I'm going to do, you know, a little mini baby drag technique would be to just set a lot of it right now. What I like to do for my setting, because I only have, you know, this kind of Ben 9 neutral setting powder, and, you know, it's really hard to work with, so a long time ago I had another powder that was this is empty, and I used it as a little reservoir. I used powder poof as well. Right now there's clown white in there, so I'm just going to highlight the areas that I talked about highlighting. Obviously you wouldn't do all this if you weren't a drag queen. So, you know, you do want to do, it does brighten up the inner corner of the eye. Right now I look really pasty. but that had a little bit of clown white in it. So I'm going to take the neutral setting powder, and look, I'm going to show you how I. What I like to do is take the little reservoir and just put a little bit, because I switch between powders a lot. I use the clown white, the neutral, and then I have a more tinted powder that I use to set my contours, and then that kind of blends everything together and brings me back to a normal place. So, check it out. You know, just do a little bit, put the powder poof, put it in there. You know, if I were really kind of, I guess this is after you get done cooking, you really want to set it. Or, well, I mean, this is a part of cooking, I guess. So I'm just going to put this, in the intermediary zones, kind of using to buff that clown white out along the jawline, really setting it. You should definitely use moisturizer before you do your makeup. I'm a stupid broke person right now, so I can't, and I'm also flying, so I didn't want to get my moisturizer taken by airport security. So as you can see, drag queen central. So what I'm going to do to kind of lessen the issues that I'm having with the face, which are that it looks really ghastly, I've got another powder, a little more tinted, so I'll be able to, when I start setting my contours and trying to get a little bit more color back into my face, this will really help because it's subtle, it diffuses pretty well, and you know, the techniques that I've gotten into is a wet to dry technique, because you have the wetness and then you set it with the dry powder, and it's been the most effective for me. It comes with the powder poof. Oh my goodness. I know there's a lot of product on it. I don't want to use that much product, so again I'm gonna, you know, get the same blush brush that I used before, pick up a little bit of powder, dap off some of the excess, and I'm going to just lightly set the temples, set the contours here. This is where draping is really important, because I am wearing a business suit, and you can see all these white flecks that it's catching under there. And I'm going to start already with this, you know, start a little bit of the blending. I am doing boy face, so I'm going to start diffusing some of it up here. Obviously I don't want to carry this into that part, so I'm just kind of going, you know, to get a nice gradient in there, getting a little bit of the excess on the brow, which earlier I had put that contour as well, picking it up here. As you can see, some of the issues are that my lips are crazy right now because I have no liner and because I drew over them with the concealer. So again, I'm setting it, you know, hopefully I'm getting a pretty subtle look. I don't have too great of an idea. It's a little overexposed with the lighting I'm in. You want to see, I'm flying Southwest. It's not a delicacy, it's a fucking bitch on a budget. Let me show you. There you go. Two checked baggages. I'm trying to somehow squeeze 3 items onto the plane with me at the time. Don't tell anyone. My techniques are, look, I've got a drag bag, I've got a backpack, I've got a boy bag, my base bow. Hello. Where did that come from? So, I'm just going to show you what I got with me. The luxuries and my makeup box. Boom. This is real, people. I'm in a fucking airport terminal doing a makeup tutorial. Who does this bullshit? No one does. Okay. So, my face is looking so nice and fresh. So you remember the step we started with? We're going to revisit that again. I'm going to get, you know, I'm going to get a dark brown liner, or a dark brown eyeshadow, and then again, an eyeliner brush. Pick up a little bit of product. And this is something we did earlier, but again, we revisit it because you want for the hair follicles to be nice and dark and set. going to start doing a little bit more precise. Just really getting into that corner. You know, because I am going for an interview, I don't want it to be too noticeable, but obviously I want to have a little bit of like incognito pop. You know, that cut crease that I talked about earlier is diffused really nicely at this point. And so what I like to do is, you see the iris, just go straight up, and that's where you should start your eyeliner. Push it in, get it a little bit under, that's what makes the big difference. Normally I like to do a really harsh wet line, but you can tell I've gotten called out by it with a couple of managers that I've worked with at retail companies. So what I like to do now is just really lightly work under the eye. Again, for the more subtle look, focus around the outside, because you see how kind of doe-eyed I'm looking over here. It's great, I love the technique. Oh my god, I need to get a little eye lift. What's going on with that wrinkle? Maybe it's because I left my house at 1:45 in the morning. Took a limo, Connecticut limo, to LaGuardia. Got there at 4. Had a flight at 6. Came here to O'Hare, and I hope to make my interview at noon. So again, I'm continuing to diffuse it into there, making it really subtle, because the last thing you want to do is be clocked for your painting. Okay, and then I get, I've got an eyebrow shaping brush. It's a little bit angled. Yeah, this is from Walgreens, 2-in-1. You get like 8 brushes and a little travel kit. It's pretty cool. So what I do is, again, I use dark brown. I used to use black, but I find that the dark brown gives me a better concept, and I just start putting the eyeshadow into the brow just to darken it. I guess the industry phrase is hacking the shit out of my eyebrows. I do that. So it's always nice to come back and make them a little bit more either defined or a little bigger, because they're thin. That's great for drag, but not so great for working in retail. So it's something I gotta keep in mind. I want to make sure that the top. The great thing, you can use a lot of things to do this. I found that the eyeshadow is what I prefer, because it's a lot more subtle. And when you correct, you want to bring the powder in the shape of the eye. It lays it down. There's a little bit of an imperfection, but I kind of like that. You see how kind of fierce it is? And then I'm going to kind of, I have no hair there, so I'm going to draw a little artificial shadow that comes down. Okay, so I'll just show you the difference between the eyebrows. This one's been filled in. This one hasn't. You see those hairs there? How gross that looks? So let me just go back. I'm not going to explain it to you. I'm just going to do it. One secret that Misty Eyes always tells people to do is to do their non-dominant eyebrow first. And whenever I do my dominant and then move on to my non-dominant, I'm like, oh my god, I should remember to do that first next time. The reason is because it's more difficult to do this one, because obviously because you're obstructed by your nose and this half of your face. Here I've got this motion that I can do, but over here I have to go over and across. So just something to keep in mind, unless you're ambidextrous or want to. I would love to challenge people to do a left-handed challenge and do your makeup with your left hand and see how it turns out that way for you. So again, I'm getting filling out the arch because I do love me some pretty bitchin' arches. Again, I'm gonna bring it down artificially, carrying it down, cleaning up, and you know, I think that's pretty good. Let me get a quick mirror so I can really see what directions I need to continue to go in. Probably reversing is the better option at this point. And just what I feared. I took my foundation way too down. Shit. Yeah, because normally the concealer that I use is the product I use to highlight, and it's all over my face. So I have a cream foundation. It's called Olive Fair that I use to try to get some of that color back to my face. There's a foundation brush that I used earlier for the concealer. Again, I already said it, so I wouldn't normally have done this. I would have said it after. I'm going to blame that clown white that was in my little reservoir earlier. But don't worry. There's always a way to fix it. If not, you know what I should do and could do is get a bigger buffing brush. I would love to use a kabuki brush. Can't afford it, so I'm going to get that buffing brush and get that tinted setting powder that I was talking about earlier. Start to really blend it around the mouth. I wouldn't normally do this for drag. I would use the clown white here and then the neutral around the muzzle. But because I did just see that I'm not my natural color right now. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the way I look in this camera, but yeah, there are a lot of issues right now. My lower eyeliner is a little too fierce, so I'm going to smudge it up into the line. Shoot, let me see. I mean, right now, to quote Rihanna, I need to find love in this hopeless face. What? I think I'm starting to develop freckles on my nose, which is interesting. I don't know why I'm blending with my fingers. I hate blending with my fingers. I normally like, oh god. Well, the issue is that I'm using my drag brushes and my drag makeup to do boy face, which is not what I should be doing. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm a lot lighter right now than I want to be. You know what, I think it's just the lips. I think everything else is fine, so let's just go to the mascara. What I normally like to use is, well, what I used to like to use before, I think they discontinued it, L'Oreal helped me out here. It was the Bare Naturel lashes. I always get clocked for wearing mascara, so the technique that I use is only applying it on the top, on the outer corners, just to give it a little flick. Don't do anything too crazy, or else you're gonna get clocked, and I don't know, it's fine to get clocked, but they've talked to me about it before at different retail locations, so I'm just gonna you can already see the difference. You see, it's like Maggie Moo. I would say just set it and forget it. Just don't do any more than that. Just do. I use the open and close technique. I open and draw my lash through the eye. Rotate the brush. Open, close. Obviously, I would love to do a very dramatic lash, but you know what? This is just enough to stand out and little enough so that they don't think I'm crazy, which, like I said, they already know me, so that's why I feel a little more comfortable showing up in face. I don't think using a nude lip is going to be as effective if I don't line it, so I'm just going to do the light liner. Oh my gosh, twins. We had twin babies at the airport. So I just line my lip with the really red burgundy. So smudged it in so I don't have to use lipstick. I do have a nude lipstick. I'm just going to put a little bit right here. I know I definitely look crazy, but what I use instead of lip gloss when I'm doing my boy makeup is Carmex chapstick. There's a little bit of gloss, blends everything together. Looks a little bit more normal, isn't too crazy. And then when I'm doing drag, I guess I'm getting close to done. What I normally like to do is accent my moles because they get covered up when I do the foundation over it. So let me see. So I'm just gonna, I normally use liquid liner, but I'm gonna use the eyeshadow again and just get a little bit on the corner. See that corner? There's a little bit of product in there. I would say that I've got the trifecta. I've got the Marilyn, I've got the Liza Minnelli, and that's the Alejandro. I was born with that. My mom gave me that one. My dad gave me that one. Another one's a little constellation on my face. So right now I look great. I'm going to do some edits and see what I need to do with the mirror, and then I'll come back and do any corrections as I see fit. But I'm pretty happy with it. I got the shaped eyebrows, the nose is contoured. You know, I already know that taking the tinted powder and just buffing everything out is going to be the best option for me because the color is, I know it's going to be atrocious, so I'm just going to...
You want to go get it? They get my coffee and I'll stay here. Yeah. Medium.
But hopefully compared to how you think I looked earlier, I feel fresher, there's a little bit of face, but keep in mind this is going to fall a bit. I'll see what happens when I get in the car on the way. I have exactly 30 minutes to get to the interview on time and surprise the store manager. Because she thinks we're having a phone interview at 1 because I was based in New Haven, but I'm relocating for the position. Well, coming into town to interview to show them how serious I am about. Mr. Manager, there you go. It's a little diva glam, but that's how I like it. Stay posted for my other tutorial videos that I'll be doing in the future. I know this is super long just for a simple face, but hopefully you got to hear a little bit about me. Oh yes, my teeth are white. Could be the overexposure setting that I have on the camera, but live, love, laugh. I guess I'm trying to create a new persona called Karma Alejandro, which is a fusion of Karma and Alejandro. We all know how I love to do those fusions. So stay tuned and prepare for maybe another Facebook account and another YouTube and Twitter account. Now that I have my new Galaxy X3, I can do all sorts of cool stuff. Bye bye bye. Stay safe and remember, look both ways before you cross the street. Oh my goodness, I forgot one of the most important techniques, giving you a little color. Okay, so again, the blush that I have right now isn't great. There's a little bit of shimmer in it, which isn't the best for the use that I'm about to use it, which is an interview, but balls to the walls, as they say. So when I did my contouring, I did it from here, here, and then this I'm going to go over that, and then I'm just going to bring it up just a little bit, so not too much. And one of my secrets is also I use the eyeshadow up here because it makes all the zones in the face match each other. Because I'm contouring, I did use the same contour up there, and it's giving me a little bit of color. There. So now I would say I finishes my lips because I don't have the appropriate color for that. So it is what it is. Very excited. My mom's gonna tell me to take a lot of it off, but what are you gonna do? So I think the Manager Express will like it. I'm not wearing too much eyeliner. I mean, when in doubt, just wipe it all off, I guess. I can wash my face off, but I feel like I look better. Awesome. Stay tuned.